Hello and welcome back to Miniverse. In today's episode, we are building a Star Wars desert diorama based from the original trilogy and The Mandalorian. So to kick this Star Wars diorama off, I primed all the stormtroopers white and then put a wash of contrast apothecary white all over them to create some extra shadows. After that, I painted white all over the panels to create a highlight. Then I used purple for the base coat for all the black areas. I found a purple base coat is great as it gives some extra juicy depth later on. In this case, I used Magos Purple from GW. As I got a 3D printer recently, I decided to use these awesome sculpts from Darkfire Designs. After the base coat, I used contrast Black Templar on top of all the purple undercoats. Now it's time to actually make the base for the Star Wars diorama. I glued some XPS foam on my wood base and then carved it with a hot wire cutter. Next, it was time to repair some of the gaps. I needed some miller put together and filled in any of the gaps between the wood and the XPS foam. Now with a fan brush, I used a mixture of Mod Podge, water and paint to seal in the diorama for the black spray paint later on.
Ended. The Clone War has.
Now this was the funnest part of the diorama for me. It was time to paint the Dewback, and I only used 3 colours to do so. For the straps, I used wildwood contrast, making sure to get as little as possible on the white surface. To paint the skin of the Dewback, I used Militarum Green contrast paint. I made sure to heap it on as the more the better. I made sure that it pulled in all the recess areas to give the Dewback some muscular definition, and once it dried, I made sure to go back over the recesses one more time to make it nice and dark. Now recently I picked up some new terrain paste, Sandy Desert by AK Interactive. The overall texture was really good, however I imagine to get the optimum results out of this, you should also use it alongside some finer texture pastes. To dye the sand, I used a mixture of watered down Skeleton Horde and Scrag Brown to give it a nice orangey Tatooine feel that you see in Star Wars. Then using a makeup brush, I dry brushed pale sand to create some highlights onto the sand. Now before gluing the Dewback on, let's finish up some small details. After gluing the Dewback down, I realised there were some huge gaps, so I filled it back in with the texture paste, and then repainted it and dyed it with a nice orange later on. Now, after that dead meme, it's time to finish up the diorama and glue the rest of the stormtroopers in. And that's it. I hope you like this Star Wars Tatooine diorama, and make sure to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on what you'd like to see me do next. I'm open to all kind of ideas. And I'll catch you next time.